What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former unified lightweight world champion Australian star boxer George Kambosos Jr., 20 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'9" with a 68-inch arm reach. He states that he will be having his immediate rematch, get an opportunity to become a two-time world champion in the Undisputed Showdown against undisputed lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin the Dream Haney, who has now 28 wins, no losses, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout, 23 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. So with that said, George Kambosos Jr., Devin Haney, they fought June 4th here in the United States. It was June 5th in Australia. It was an undisputed showdown in which Devin Haney absolutely outclassed and dominated George Kambosos Jr., pitching the shutout, winning every single round, okay? You have to give George Kambosos a single round is just being generous, okay? He completely dominated George Kambosos, okay? He, completely neutralized anything George Kambosos does good, and he dominated the fight, okay? So with that said, everybody started to want to see what's next for Devin Haney, and not too many people wanted to see a rematch with George Kambosos and Devin Haney because of the outcome of the fight and how the fight played out. It wasn't a good showing on the part of George Kambosos, but at the same time, it was a great showing on the part of Devin Haney, who absolutely neutralized George Kambosos Jr. with his defense, his slickness, his offense, his jab. He beat George Kambosos Jr. and never even came out of first or second gear, okay? And everybody wanted to see what's next for Devin Haney. We all knew that he had an immediate rematch clause because that was highly publicized when Devin Haney decided that in order to secure this fight, he had to sign with legendary promoter, Top Rank CEO Bob Arum, ESPN, and Top Rank to secure this fight against George Kambosos, who signed to Lou DiBella and DiBella Promotions, okay? And so we knew the rematch clause was a big thing, a big part of the negotiations. But again, after the outcome of the fight, not too many people called for the fight. But it looks like two-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer Vasyl Lomachenko, who's 16 wins, 2 losses, no draw, 11 wins by way of knockout, 34 years of age, 5'6" with a 66-inch arm reach. He has no interest in fighting Devin Haney in his first fight back. We know Lomachenko, announced that Lomachenko will be back in the ring in October, okay? The same month that we expect Devin Haney, who announced that he'll be back in the ring in October, and it looks like it's going to be against George Kambosos Jr. because Bob Arum, he stated that Lomachenko essentially is going to have a tune-up fight, a fight to get back. We know Lomachenko is 10 toes down in the Ukraine, defending his home country in the unfortunate situation between Ukraine and Russia, and Lomachenko has not been, active right now. Now, Lomachenko, having layoffs is not, strange for Lomachenko because he has had layoffs in his past, and then, he came back and he had fights. So, Lomachenko, he fought against Richard Comey. That was in, December, I believe. That was in December when they fought. And, he beat Richard Comey in his last fight, and he's been out the ring. So it would be going on a year. It would be 8 months. It would be 10 months if he comes back in October since the last time he fought, okay? But, again, that's not out of the ordinary. And then there was, undefeated 3-division world champion superstar boxer GERVONTA Tank Davis, who has 27 wins, no loss, and no draw, 25 big wins by way of knockout. He is 27 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach, who stated that he wanted to fight Devin Haney next year. Devin Haney beat Kambosos, but he since set his sights on fighting undefeated lightweight, junior welterweight, Mexican superstar title contender King Ryan Garcia, who has 23 wins, no loss, and no draw, 19 wins by way of knockout, 23 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. Looks like they're looking to fight in December at the end of the year. So looks like Devin Haney's options have dwindled, okay? As Lomachenko, as Bob Arum put it, is going to have a tune-up fight in October. It won't be Devin Haney fight. And Gervonta Tank Davis has set his sights on fighting Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia set his sights on fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. Okay, so Devin Haney is, back against the wall. His options have dwindled and limited, especially at the top. He's looking to fight the absolute best. He's the undisputed champion. So looks like October 16th, we could be getting Devin Haney versus George Kambosos Jr. in a rematch, okay, in which I expect it to go about the same way, if not worse, for George Kambosos, because now Devin Haney has calculated enough information, enough data to understand the speed, the timing, the distance, what George Kambosos wants to bring to the ring, his jerky style. And that's not a good thing for George Kambosos, who's now stating that, he's understood how to beat Devin Haney. Okay. He's calculated enough information and losing every round, losing 12 straight rounds to Devin Haney to be able to figure out what it's going to take to beat Devin Haney in the rematch. And he's stating he's going to be the two-time lightweight undisputed world champion. Well, it would be first-time undisputed lightweight world champion because, frankly, he was the unified champion. He was never undisputed to begin with. So, interesting for Devin Haney, but at the same time, we got great news because Devin Haney, he was featured on Say Cheese, in which Devin Haney, he stated that the Gervonta Tank Davis fight is on the horizon. Okay, he stated that it's closer than ever. He stated that it's going to be one of the biggest fights in boxing, and it's going to happen very soon. Hopefully, we can see Devin Haney. He's victorious, as I expect him to be, against George Kambosos Jr. in this rematch. And then Gervonta Tank Davis looks like he could possibly fight Ryan Garcia in December. And there's talks of legendary retired Hall of Fame iconic superstar boxer, 5-division world champion, pound-for-pound king, the man known as Money, Floyd Money Mayweather Jr., who's turned promoter and founder of Mayweather Promotions, who promotes Gervonta Tank Davis. He stated that he wanted to do a passing of the torch fight, okay, in which he would fight a rematch with UFC legendary future Hall of Fame superstar Conor McGregor, a rematch of their 2017 August showdown, in which Gervonta Tank Davis was on the undercard. He was the co-main event, and Floyd Mayweather has interest in doing the same thing and have one more official fight and call it the passing of the torch, where we be passed to Gervonta Tank Davis, who will fight possibly Ryan Garcia as the co-main event. And Floyd Mayweather wanted to do that in September. It was talks of him doing it in September. Well, maybe he actually pushes it back and it happens in December. And then we could see, Devin Haney versus Gervonta Tank Davis in the early part of 2023. Or Gervonta Tank Davis, faces another opponent, and Devin Haney, he goes and faces Lomachenko, in the early part of 2023, satisfy his 3-fight deal with ESPN, Bob Arum, and Top Rank. And then he's a free agent to go ahead and fight Gervonta Tank Davis in the second half of 2023. Okay, so if he was able to beat George Kambosos, he gets the fight with Vasyl Lomachenko in the early part of 2023. Okay, and then, we're talking about February 2023 possibly. If they fight in October. Devin Haney said if he has to rematch George Kambosos, he wants it to happen before his birthday, which is in November. So, if he fights, George Kambosos beats him in October, then he fights, Lomachenko possibly in February, beats Lomachenko in February, then we could possibly see in the summertime, Devin Haney versus Gervonta Tank Davis, because at that point in time, Devin Haney's a free agent and could do a 1-fight deal or so with Mayweather Promotions, with Floyd Mayweather, with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, founder and advisor Al Heyman, and also with Showtime President of Sports, Steven Espinosa. He was on Showbox a few times, so he has a relationship with Showtime. So we could possibly see that, and that would be a great stretch for Devin Haney. If he beats George Kambosos, defends his titles in rematch in Australia, then he goes on and beats Lomachenko in the early part of 2023, and then gets a mega fight with Gervonta Tank Davis in 2023 later on in that year. And let's say he was to be victorious in that fight, that would speak absolute volumes for his legacy and his career. Okay, beating 3 massive world champions back to back to back would be enormous for Devin Haney and his career and his legacy. and then he would then make his way to 140, as he's already stated that he doesn't have much time at 135. He's just simply outgrowing the division. He's just getting too big, and he's young. Now I don't know what weight class the Tank Davis fight will happen. Maybe that happens at 140. Ryan Garcia is trying to advocate to get Gervonta Tank Davis to fight him at 140. His last 2 fights was at 140, and he's trying to get Gervonta Tank Davis to come up to 140. But with that said, Devin Haney, he announces and says Gervonta Tank Davis fight is very close. It's sooner rather than later, and it's going to be an enormous fight. It's going to be a huge fight, and I agree, especially if, like I said, I would love to see Devin Haney get the fight with Kambosos next because he has no options, and then have the fight with Lomachenko, beat Lomachenko, close out the Lomachenko era, okay, and then work his way to Gervonta Tank Davis. That would be enormous. He would have cleaned out the division for sure. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue. Peace.
It is your boy Jada Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.